Welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gilmer, and I'm excited to podcast engineer here. Excited to bring another episode of Workability with the Blue Collar Crypto Show with Tim and Neil. Do here every Sunday at 4 and 5:30 p.m. Central. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show or any of the other shows, please let us know. But with nothing further ado, I'm going to bring in Tim and Neil to kick us off today.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Tim. Tim, why don't we get started? So last time we had talked about the job issues, and I think that relates to everyone because everyone either works or wants to work. Wouldn't you say that's right, Tim?
Tim's trying to come back.
So everyone either works or is in the process. There are 10 million people on disability, and about 80% of them are not working, or 80% of those who have mental disability are not working. And so that leaves about 20% of those that work, and I'm one of those that work. I've been working at Outpost Natural Foods for just about 3 years, and that has been a very fulfilling experience for me. I am a food prep person, and I do dishwashing, so I do both those. So enjoy that kind of work. Can you hear me, Emily?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, so yes, the element of disability is that there are psychological, social, and vocational issues in disability, and so those are the elements of disability. And so what I find in the barriers to employment are such that I think the biggest core is having confidence in oneself and confidence in the ability to do one's work. So that's very important. The employer pays a fair wage for work done. Unfortunately, there is a certain degree of underemployment in the world, especially as applies to people with disabilities, and unfortunately, that can't be, that has to be overcome. And so that is what sometimes people with disabilities do face. Another way of experiencing fulfillment when you have a disability is in volunteering. And I have volunteered significantly when I was a member of the Grand Avenue Club. I gave 4 years of my time to. Do we have Tim on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Now, okay. Why don't you join us again? I was just talking about the different ways to contribute to the world, and one is through work, and another is through volunteering. Have you done both? You have done both, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm involved with like the DVR. In Wisconsin, we have the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation,
Sure.
and I try and keep contact with them because I'm pretty much like you. I'm not satisfied. I want more. I want to do more. I want to enjoy more of a work life. I mean, the money's good, but I'm not too concerned about the money. I know I'm not getting paid what I'm worth.
Sure.
Only because personally I feel like I'm not, not
Sure.
I don't know what I'm worth, 100 grand a year probably, right? And I can say that, am I worth more than the average schmo out there? Yeah, I think I am. That's my personal self-esteem and my own thing, but I absolutely am not getting paid anywhere as close to that. So I keep in contact with as many resources, the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation. There's another group here in Madison, Wisconsin, that is a social service for people who have well, let's just call it welfare social services in Dane County, and I hope to get in contact with them. I get all the free gimmies in welfare. I hate to use the word welfare because we're talking about disabilities here, but in terms of our president, and I hate to switch gears, there's a lot of things that he's doing to people concerning them working if they're getting a government check. And not everybody has to have work requirements, but he absolutely wants them to be working if they're getting any government benefits, including Medicaid. He wants to make sure that they're working if they want to get Medicaid. So, um, so in terms of working, there's a lot of people that work, but in a sense, corporations get to hire you for a lower wage because in some cases, they don't have to pay your health care costs. So they're just paying you the cash uh, part of your compensation. And even that might not be what everybody else is getting paid. They're probably hiring you for less money than their other employees. I'm not sure about that, Neil. Do you have something? Any of that? I know I bounced around. Hello?
Yeah, Neil, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Is Neil with us?
Looks like he's connected,
But yeah, we're not getting any video or audio or anything.
right. But yeah, I'll keep going. We'll see if he comes back.
Well, until Neil comes back, there's been an issue of people wanting or needing to work or being forced to work because they get government payments, and then with that, it seems like there's a misunderstanding what disabilities are all about because a lot of people that get a government paycheck are disabled, and to say that they're disabled now to force them to work, even though if you know they're disabled, is kind of defeating the purpose. We want people to work, absolutely, but if they're not equipped to work, and if they have a hard time keeping a job, or they flat out can't get work, um, and regardless of what the labor market is, sometimes the market is very competitive. It's very hard for people to get work. Um, I believe that there are places that will hire you, but not everybody is equipped to go into the workforce and compete and hold on to a job. So they're better off getting a disability check. They're better off getting Medicaid. Um, it's better for them, and it's not terrible for the economy. The economy, as I say, it is the pay that they get with a check goes right into the economy, gets spent just like any other dollars from any other employer. So, um, so what do we need to do to tweak the system? Does it need to be changed? I'm not sure. If it's not perfect already, do we need to change this? So let's let's circle back. Let's revisit this line of inquiry, discussion, conversation, debate, whatever you might call it, as to should people that get government subsidies, that get government health insurance, have to then go into the economy and work for a living while they're still getting paid for those hours that they work for? And I'm not saying for free, they have to work for their benefits. Um, um, because it sounds like that. It's not. If they go into the workforce and they work, they do get paid a regular wage, albeit I believe a lower wage that their employers are able to pay them. Let's say the wage where that person is $15 for that job. The employer may be able to get away with paying $11 or $10 for that $15 an hour job, because they're paying a disabled person whose compensation is already covered in partly by the health insurance, as 30 or 40% of somebody's wages is health insurance these days. So the employer gets away with paying that disabled person less money than he would normally pay. He gets a good deal. He doesn't have to pay health insurance, and he doesn't have to pay a regular wage to that employee that the other employees get. He can pay less. And the government allows this. So, are you still there, Emily?
Hey, Tim, I've come on. My phone had to cool down for some reason, and I've come back.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Um, I would say I would like to discuss getting back to what you were talking about, um, working, the subject of work. What um how do you how how do you personally feel about that?
Well, I think it's important to work and to have goals and just try to set aside goals, set up goals so that you can achieve what you want to achieve, uh, spiritually, financially, intellectually, emotionally, and financially.
Is isn't there a sense of entitlement when you go on the workforce that I deserve this and I deserve that? Or
I think
how
there's
do
an
you feel
entitlement.
personally?
I think there's
How do you
entitlement.
feel, Neil?
I think there's entitlement in the disability system where you go on disability and you feel entitled to being taken care of, and I think that's very negative. I don't think there's any
Yeah, but
entitlement
I'm
to
not
work.
talking about the I don't mean entitlement like the legal sense or the I'm saying what do you feel, Neil, about what do you deserve personally? I mean, do you think that you're being compensated correctly out for who you are? I mean, what do you deserve personally?
I think
How
$15 an hour would be fair for me. I don't know for the job I'm doing, and I'm making 11.56. So for the job I'm doing, $15 an hour, because I believe that's the type of work that's the type of income required.
I mean, are you worth $25 an hour, Neil?
Not in this job. I think, that would be my goal. Yes, my goal would be 25, but I'd have to get a different job.
Okay. Would you have any trouble spending that?
I would have a problem saving it. That's the challenge. I'd have to save.
Okay. So isn't that what we're talking about? I mean, I'm not trying to lead you into anything, but if you would like to have that income and the economy says, come out here and purchase things, why shouldn't you have 25, $30 an hour instead of $11?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's what the market demands and what your skills will compensate you with. That's what I think the key is.
I mean, are we I think that our economy has gone into another mode. I mean, you're constantly being marketed to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Um, you know, there are so many different products out there, not like there used to be. Why why can't we just get what we want? I mean, versus get what we deserve. Want or what what's what's keeping us from getting our just compensation? Um, what's holding us back?
I think perhaps a lack of a dream that you want a better life for yourself, and I think maybe that's what's challenge holding you back, and maybe that's the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of concepts that I like, but it seems to me we have it kind of backwards. I think when you're younger, you're actually worth more money, and then they say, "Well, you don't have enough experience." But when you're older, they say, "Oh, you have experience, but you're too old,
Sure.
and we can't pay it." It's like you're at your prime when you're 20, 20, 30 years old. That's when the wages should be high.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you a chance to save for retirement.
Correct.
Yeah. Versus the other way around, especially with retirement money, the way the employers put 7.5% in for you, you put 7.5% in to match for Social Security, but your wages are low, so you're not getting to get the time value that would go towards your retirement.
Correct.
It won't build as fast because your wages are lower when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
You get I like to talk as an economist,
Sure.
but I think we have it backwards. I think you and I, Neil, should have had $30 an hour when we were 25, when we were in our 20s.
Correct.
That would have been a really high wage back then.
Yes, it would have been a lot of money. Yes.
And then as inflation adjusts over the years, now we should be getting maybe the same.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it should just be level. But
sure.
But why when we're younger why is it that we're paid so low?
Right.
And I think the disability system takes advantage of that in a bad way.
Yes, I think it underpays, and I think doesn't compensate people appropriately because the disability system allows it, because the disability system contributes and caps a person's income at, and says you can only save $2,000 a year, and that's poverty. That's not a way to survive.
And I have problems with that. And it sounds like you do.
Yes.
And with that's the way the president looks at it, and let's get away from the Republican Democrat here, but the way it's being looked at, and it's being more destructive than helpful.
Sure.
When politicians keep telling us, oh, people should have to work for this, and then so we get the concept of a belief system in work, but not we're not looking at this in a way to improve it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a punishment system in a way. Yeah. So anyway, I just hope you're following what I'm saying, but if you can't, if you don't,
no,
if what I'm saying sounds too weird,
no,
I'll be with you. Okay,
yeah.
Neil.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. You're saying that we're not compensated for what we deserve, and there's a punishment involved, and we need to try to find a way to be justly compensated.
I guess if we're saying we can't work, and then the president says, "Well, you have to."
Yeah.
I guess that's not a conversation.
Right.
But it's let's figure out something creatively. But let's not have a I'm for this and I'm against this argument.
Sure.
Let's make it work for people who have trouble.
Right.
And make it work for their benefit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming. Yeah.
Okay. You want to sign off?
I'm just talking off the cuff, but
Sure.
It's not hard for me to see that people that are disabled are no different than the rest of us,
Correct.
you know. So otherwise I wouldn't be doing this show, right? If I didn't think we
Correct.
weren't all the same. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. If I didn't think we weren't all the same, I wouldn't be doing this show. We're all equal.
Correct.
And we're not exactly equal, but we are all equal.
Right.
We all have inequality here. What is, our God-given, if I can say that, equality, and what we deserve in life.
Right.
And I think that's how we're doing this. How are we doing this? Why do people come here by the truckloads? Why are they coming here? Because they recognize this equality. I mean, it's no mystery why they're coming here.
Right.
We have a government that cares. So we have a disability system that highlights that.
Right.
So, and we do it better than any other country.
Yes.
I'm not just speaking about patriotism. We've had some really good systems in place, but they need to be tweaked. The economy supports it.
Right.
This doesn't hurt the economy, it helps the economy.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Neil.
I think the core issue is work versus leisure. And I think, we all need leisure in our life, but the disability system encourages leisure and caps the amount of work you can do. And I think that's a very negative belief.
I agree. It may have made sense in another era,
right?
But it seems to make less sense today.
Right. I think in the 30s when things were very tough. In the 40s, I think it was during Eisenhower's reign or time in office in the 59 when disability system was introduced, and I believe that up until that time, a man named Bill Wilson had to live with friends because he was not able to support himself. And that is what the reality was at that time. There was no disability at that time. And Helen Keller and others were very fortunate. Now, they're the rarities. There are people that probably lived in cardboard boxes and in hovels in the street because in Hoovervilles, which were places to live because you couldn't support yourself. But I'd like to close out now if you can. Can you close out now? We've done our half an hour.
Like how?
Like ask
we can close out. Okay.
We've done our half an hour. Usually we do 30 minutes.
I'm definitely enjoying this, and I'm glad it's over, and I enjoyed it while it was on.
Good. Emily, can you sign us off, please?
All right, thank you too for information on the show today. Again, we are here every Sunday at 4 and 5:30 p.m. Central. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, to please let us know. And encourage everybody to check out others that we are connected with, like Jay and the Disability Channel, Zach with the PAC Channel, Mary Sawyer of Transform You, Will Williams of the Midwest Plains and Podcast, and so on. And I guess until next week, hope everybody has a safe and productive